So these are all of my palettes. I just finished taking a thumbnail photo of these. I'm gonna spread them all out, but I have way too many. I was moving them, this is actually in my dining room, and I was moving them from my makeup area to here, and it took me like 5 trips. And I'm like, and that is a sign that I have too many palettes. It should not take me that long. It's just crazy, but I love so many of them. So I'm thinking I can be pretty ruthless with this. We're about to find. Okay, so I'm gonna start with these. I've still got piles and piles more, but I just kind of set some of my smaller ones out to start with. So this is gonna be a long video, I presume, so you might wanna grab like some tea or something. I know I am drinking tea right now as well. So one of the ways I like to do this, if you haven't seen any of my other declutters, is I set a bunch out and I think to myself, okay, if I were at the store and these were all in front of me, what would I buy again, knowing what I know about the product now, after having used it? So, just kind of looking out at these, the products I would buy again right away would be this one. I love this. I got in a boxy charm, and the brand is Studio Makeup, and it's their on-the-go palettes, and this one's in Cool Down, and I love this palette. There's something about it that I feel like me a year ago I wouldn't have liked this palette, but me now I love it, especially this color here. It's just such a pretty color for the winter time, for fall, I mean really anytime, but it's just so pretty. These are so pigmented and just gorgeous. So for me, this is one that I would totally go out and buy. I love, so I'm definitely keeping that one. Another one that blew me away was this Ibby Beauty Trio. But the only thing is, it's such a, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting like no use out of it because I can only do like pretty much one look with it. But look at how pigmented these are. Oh my gosh, isn't that ridiculous? It's so beautiful. Even the white is so pretty. But it's their Trio in Threes company, by the way. And I really, really like it, but I feel like I'm not giving it much love. So I'm gonna put this in a maybe, and depending on how many I get rid of, if I feel like I haven't kept too much, I might go ahead and keep it. If I'm keeping a lot, then I might pass this on. So this, I'm gonna make a maybe pile, and that'll be in that for now, because it's really, really good quality. But that's one of those things that easily just gets lost in your collection when you have a lot. The Too Faced Natural Eyes one is one I've loved for years. It's got that kind of like tin metal packaging. It's just got everything you could ever need. And it's one of the original like palettes for me. Like one of the first ones I ever spent money on that was like more higher end, you know. And it's just so amazing, so pigmented, and it's got such a great combo of colors and a great combo of mattes and shimmers. So this is one that I will definitely keep. I always get so torn because the Naked Basics, their quality is fine. And I like the Naked too because I feel like there's a little bit more of a gradient, whereas the other one, they were all really, really similar colors. And I love that this has like a deeper, like charcoal, almost black, but it's definitely kind of got a brown hint to it. And this is so great if I bring like if I'm traveling and I bring like a bunch of really shimmery colors, this is the perfect kind of in-between. So I do think I'm gonna keep this, honestly, for that reason alone. I pretty much never just grab this to do a look just with this, but it's so small, it's such a great companion palette that I can't bring myself to get rid of it. Another one I really think is great is this Milani one. Both of these here, this one from CoverGirl as well, they're both two really good drugstore options that, you know, they're inexpensive, they've got great color ranges. These are both in ways kind of similar. They have really similar colors. Just looking at it, I think I can literally match shade for shade, yeah, in this. But they're both really, really good. And I feel like I have so many palettes that aren't drugstore. And, you know, I don't like to only talk about high-end products when I know that there are really good drugstore products out there. So I'm gonna keep both of these knowing that they're two of my favorite drugstore options out there. So really, really good. Now let's just kind of go through these. So this is the Nuance by Salma Hayek palette. I was just very underwhelmed by this. It's not that the shadows are bad by any means. Let's just swatch a couple. I mean, they're pretty. Actually really, really pigmented as I'm trying more of these out. But I just kind of felt like these were shades that like I have a million times over in other palettes. And I felt like, well, why do I really, gosh, that is really good though. But I kind of felt like I don't really need any of these colors. They're just kind of, it's kind of a wah-wah kind of a palette. So I feel like I might as well pass that on while it's still pretty new to someone that might like it. Do I think it's a bad palette? No. I mean, honestly, all of those were really buttery. I just don't really need it. So I'm gonna pass this one on. This is one that, again, it's kind of like a wah-wah kind of a palette. Let's swatch a couple of these. Just none of the colors really made me feel like, oh, I need to have that palette. It's kind of, they're pretty pigmented, but that one had a lot of like powder kind of pilled up there, but it's okay, but I'm not really into these colors. So again, that's one I'm kind of glad to get rid of. This is the Soap & Glory lid stuff. I actually pretty recently got this from them. If I can open it. Ugh. It's a very cool toned palette. It's not one that I don't know, like I kind of opened it and I was, again, that same feel of, like I wasn't really super excited about it. They're not bad shadows by any means, but I have so much of all of these colors already that I didn't feel like I needed to have this. And it's got so many light colors that just kind of blend together there. And so I feel like that's the only other color other than all those. So I'm gonna pass this on as well. Good job, Jess. Now on to my e.l.f. palettes. So these, let's talk about these first. So this one right here is their Mad for Matte palette, their original. This is their Mad for Matte 2. I really like both of these palettes. This one's pretty new to me, so I'm still working with this. This one I just really like. They're, again, an amazing drugstore priced option, especially if you want matte shadows. Do I think these shadows are like as good as like Urban Decay shadows, Too Faced shadows? No. But do I think they're pretty darn good? Yes. And I love that there's such a range you can try. These are both very different palettes. And even some fun little pops of color in there. So I'm definitely keeping both of these. Now, the one I might get rid of, even though I do like it, and I've even recommended it, this is their Nude Rose Gold palette. They might just call it Rose Gold now. It's a beautiful palette, but I just kind of feel like, again, this is one that I really like their matte shadows. Their shimmer ones are okay. I think their matte ones might be a little bit better, honestly. But it's just one that I'm not, it's getting lost in my collection because I have a million other palettes just like this. So I don't necessarily need to keep this, so I'm gonna pass it on. This is the other Studio Makeup On The Go palette, and it's warm tone. So let me show you in comparison. This is that cool down one I showed you that I'm keeping right here, and this is the warm tone. These shadows are incredible. I mean, I could bring both of these palettes with me traveling, and I would have pretty much everything I could need. I mean, yeah, obviously some shades that aren't in there, but just absolutely beautiful, stunning, stunning shadows, every single one of them. So I'm definitely keeping both. I wish the packaging were a little bit more exciting, but I guess it doesn't really matter when the shadows are that good, huh? All right, so this is the Sonia Kashuk Ion Neutral Shimmer. It's a really nice palette, but it has a lot of fallout. Every single shade in here is absolutely stunning, beautiful shimmer. Literally nothing wrong with this at all. It's just that a lot of the things, like the little actual pans, are popping out. And I just feel like, again, I've got a million palettes that have these kinds of colors. But let me just show you. They're so pretty. They really are gorgeous. They're so buttery. I don't know, I always get so torn. But again, a lot of these are very similar to each other. So like, that one and that one and that one all look the same. Well, actually, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one, and that one. They all look the same on my eye. Like, you can't tell the difference. But it really is a nice palette. So this one's gonna go in the maybe as well. Now, I've got all of these L'Oreal quads they sent me a while ago. I actually do like these quads a lot. They're the first L'Oreal quads I've really, really liked. My two favorite are Boudoir Charm. I cannot say that. Just 4 beautiful shades. Again, you can really, these are so pretty. I really do think these are so gorgeous. So that's one I definitely am keeping. I've gotten a lot of use out of. And then this one's in French Biscuit. I really like this matte camel color up here. It's so rare to find a really good camel color, especially in the drugstore. And then I love this shimmery brown. I wear that on my lid all the time. And then the only downside is that this darker color here has a lot of fallout. It is a gorgeous color. I'm gonna swatch it. So stunning, but it has a lot of fallout when you use it. So you either have to use a wet brush or you just have to do your face makeup second because it really does get everywhere. But isn't that beautiful? That'd be a beautiful like New Year's Eve color. So that being said, I'm gonna keep these two. The purple one, it's called, some of these I haven't even opened. Yeah, I haven't even opened this one. This one is, or have I? Oh no, I have. This one's called Violet Amour. This one's called Haute Hazel. These are really pretty colors, but I just don't know how much I would use them. Like the blues I know I won't use. This is Avant-Garde Azure, or Azure, however you want to say it. Definitely getting rid of that one. I'm definitely going to get rid of the purple one. These smoky ones, this one's called Silver Couture. I don't know. Again, these are colors that I don't totally get excited about. That's kind of a cool color though, isn't that? But I don't love that on me, so I'm going to pass this on as well. These two I'm kind of torn about because I think they're a really cool combo of colors. Like this one especially, with this beautiful green and this beautiful kind of bronzy color. But will I use it enough to make it worth keeping? Probably not, so I'm going to pass that on. And I think this just might be a little bit too pink, so I'm going to pass that one on as well. Okay, good job, Jess. Next two items. This is by Tarina Tarantino. I've had this forever. Does it have like a date? It says 12 months. It has been way longer than that. I've had this forever, but I love it so much. It's this duo that just is so freaking stunning. I show it like every time I declutter, and I never declutter it because I think those are so pretty. I just can't get rid of it yet. I still love it. And then this one's this Morphe palette a subscriber sent me. And this one, okay, here's the telltale sign. These are both completely, this is that Sonia Kashuk one, remember? So these are both complete shimmer palettes. But this one has so much more to work with because it has reds, it's got some blues and greens, it's got some beiges. Whereas this one doesn't really have quite those like maroon and orange colors. So I feel like if I'm gonna keep one of these, it should be the Morphe one, not the Sonia Kashuk one. So that helped me decide. Goodbye, Sonia Kashuk. Hello, Morphe. Next round. Okay, so here's my next round. These are all Sleek palettes and then some others. So Sleek sent me all of these at one point, and a lot of them are limited edition. So Sleek is already harder to secure in the US as it is. But on top of the fact that some of these are limited edition, I don't want to talk about them and then you guys not be able to get your hands on them. So one that I can easily say no is this bright one here. I'm tempted to keep it. I'm like, just in case, but I'm like, that just in case day never comes. So it is just time. Goodbye. That one is going. This one I don't think I'm ever going to use. This one's called On the Horizon, number 444. And again, these are like oranges and greens and blues. And I'm like, I don't foresee a day where I really, really need that. So that one was limited edition, by the way. The bright neon one was called Acid, and it is not limited edition. So, you know, if you ever did want that, or you need it for some project or costume or anything, or you just wanted it for yourself, that is what that is. And these are really affordable palettes. So that is the one nice thing. They're usually pretty good quality. Some of the shadows can be hit or miss. Some of them can be really, really powdery, so you have to kind of tap your brush off when you're applying it. This is another one, this pastel one. This one was limited edition. It's called Nordic Skies, and I love the name of it. But again, these are shadows I'm probably just never ever going to use, so it's just, I'm just going to pass them on. Moving along, these are both so similar to me, these two right here. But I feel like this has a ton of light colors I'm never going to use, but I really like those darker colors. And this one just has a smattering of ones I might use. Gosh, it really does look so similar. It's just like they mixed up the colors a little bit, you know. I think one that I can get rid of is called Oh So Special. This is actually the second time I've owned this. I bought this when we were on our honeymoon in Paris at a Sephora there, because it was the only, I'd never tried a Sleek palette. This was like 2 years ago. But it was the only one they sold there, or at least at that time. So I got it just wanting to try the palette, but I was like, I don't really like any of these colors, like, you know? So again, I've got it again, and I think I'm just gonna pass it on. But that one, oh, by the way, the palette's called Oh So Special, and it's a regular line. It's not limited edition. This one I like a lot, but again, all of these colors look the same. They don't really look like they're any different, like, at all. I really like it though. I really like this color here. Let me get some swatches of some of these. That teal is really pretty. Whoa, that's like a duochrome, like MAC's, what's that one called by MAC? I don't know. It's really, really pretty. That one's pretty too, but again, I don't think I'm gonna get enough use out of that one. So upon further investigating, I think I'm gonna keep both of these because this one has like deeper mattes and this one really doesn't. That's the deepest one. But then this one has different shimmers. And, you know, these are my last two sleek palettes. I've decluttered all of them, and these are two that I genuinely like a lot of colors in both. This one's called Au Naturel, if I didn't already say. And then this one is called All Night Long, and it's got really pretty shimmers in there. So I'm just gonna keep both. That is fine. All right, so moving along, this Naked palette, the original, I love. The Naked too, I used to like more than the original Naked. But that was when I used to wear more cooler tones. Now I wear a lot more warm tones. It's funny how our tastes change, isn't it? They both, you know, upon first glance look so similar, but they really are really different when you get down to brass tacks. They do have some, like Half Baked is the same. And a lot of similar colors, like Toasted looks really similar to YDK. I love so many shades in both of these though. YDK is really chunky though. Or at least when I bought it, it was. I know they've reformulated some of them. Very, very similar. YDK is even more crazy though. I love it. But I genuinely use both of them. Out of the two, I use the original Naked palette more because they have a lot of shadows that I can use as just a one shadow look. Like I can just put that on the lid or just put that on the lid, you know, and blend into the crease and go. Whereas with this one, there are a couple I can do that with, but I don't feel as confident with it. And this one doesn't really have great blending colors. They have this one called Tease, but it's not, it's kind of like a cooler tone, whereas like I can blend with Buck into the crease, I can use Naked. I think both of these kind of lack in that department regardless, and I love that this is a matte black over there. And I wish that this had a matte light color over here. So they both kind of need something from both of them. I wish they'd redo it and do the, I was gonna say the Ultimate Naked, but I've got the Naked Ultimate Basics there. But do a new one where it's the best from all of their Naked palettes all together. That would be awesome. So I'm keeping both. These are so big right now because Estee Lauder or Estee Edit, you know, sent these out to a lot of YouTubers. So a lot of people are talking about them. I showed swatches of these on Snapchat a while ago. I really think these are great shadows. Now I can't do a complete look with these. I mean, it's just such a weird smattering of colors, but they're gorgeous. And I don't really, these beautiful jewel tones I love, and I don't really have too much of in other palettes. And since I know this is good quality, I really like it. Now this one is meant to be face or eye. I don't want any of these on my face. Like the bronzers wouldn't work. That's way too white for a highlight. And these, I mean, I've got 10 million blushes. I don't really need these. So the only one I think I might get rid of is this one. It makes me sad, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not using it at all, and I'm not using these colors on my eyes either, so why keep them? It's hard to do. And I love, and I know it makes no sense, but these magnetize together, and I just like that, but there's no purpose in having them. So I'm gonna keep the black one, get rid of the beautiful, beautiful silver one. Ho hum. All right. Next. I reviewed this. This is the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics. I gave this kind of a lukewarm review on my channel here. And I swatched them on, you know, showed it to you. My biggest thing is with e.l.f. making really great matte palettes and, you know, a lot of drugstores hopping on board this matte eyeshadow train. You know, you don't have to spend $50 to get a bunch of great matte shadows. And that's my biggest thing, especially considering like 1, 2, 3, 4, even really 5 of these are so similar that they look the exact same on the eye. I mean, you know what I mean, maybe those 4. And then these two look exactly the same on the eye. It's like, well, what are we really paying for here? We're basically getting like 6 shadows instead of 12 because so many of them look the same. I love this darker purple and black and the blue and that really weird orange I think is cool. But that's kind of my feelings. Now, it's a great palette though, and I use it all the time. I really like this Instinct color. It's just a really great mauve-y kind of blending color. And I just really like that. I do like these two, but they do look the same. So definitely gonna keep it. I do use it a lot, and I actually bring this with me often when I travel for the mirror, just because I can get ready in the mirror really easily. So I really do like that. Tartelette in Bloom is the last one for this round. I love this. I just got it this past summer, and it's just got such a great mix of shadows. And I really like the Tarte eyeshadow formula. Now, I think that some of both Tarte and Too Faced, a lot of their limited edition things, I feel like they don't do as well, especially Too Faced, but I really like their like regular line things. This is wonderful palette, adorable packaging. I mean, this is all around a great palette. Keeping. Okay, so these are the rest of my palettes. I have a couple to the side I'm going to pull in and show. For example, this is an Ofra little like Z palette. I just don't need, I have plenty of, so I'm going to get rid of that. I have my Sephora cute little Z palette, which I love. I'm going to keep because what I'll do is I will take like my favorites out of this Sephora Z palette, which I love, and travel with this smaller one. So I really do use these all the time. And this is just like constantly open on my vanity while I'm getting ready because there's so many shades in it that I love. Now this is my other Z palette that I just keep any other single shadows I have in. So I am going to keep this literally for that reason, so I can switch out things when I need and want to. So I really, this is kind of my little Z palette family that I love and I use. So I don't mind keeping those for those very specific reasons that I use them for. If I were shopping again here, one of the first things I would say, oh yeah, I'm going to buy again, is this Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye. It is one of those things that I didn't know what I was missing until I had it. I would look at it and people would talk about it and I'd be like, what in the world is the big deal? I don't get it. But there's something weird about these shadows that when you put them on your eyes and you blend them, it's just like, it's like I didn't know what good blending looked like until I used these shadows. It totally transforms it. It's making me want to use different colors than I'm used to, like that red I'm using in the crease that I never would have thought to use, but it looks amazing, you know, because it blends so correctly. So I love this. It was totally worth the money. Oh my gosh. So, another one that I love is the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar Palette. When I had originally owned the Chocolate Bar Palette, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't want the Semi-Sweet. It's so ugly, you know. Just because that blue really threw me off. If you cover the blue up, the palette looks so much more palatable. But with it, it just threw me off and I didn't like it. But I loved the original Chocolate Bar Palette's like formula. The shadows are so unbelievable that I was like, well, maybe. So let me just show you a couple of these. They're so pretty. So, oh my gosh, I just love it so much. I don't think that there's a shade in either one of these palettes I don't use except for maybe that blue. But then this one, I love Bonbon. You can tell I've used a ton of it. Mousse, pudding, truffled, peanut butter, buttercup. I mean, all of these. Rum raisin, they're so beautiful. Frosting is gorgeous. So, I mean, both of these are ones that I thought I might like and they blew me away and they're just amazing. Absolutely amazing shadows. This is another Too Faced one, the Sweet Peach, that I'm getting a lot of use out of as well. It's still kind of newer to me. It smells like peaches. Tastes like peaches if you lick your finger after swatching it. I'm just being honest. Same with the chocolate bar ones. They taste like chocolate. It has a lot of colors I don't know that I'll get a lot of use out of. This is called Talk Derby to me. And it's this really, it looks purple in the pan, but it really does come off as kind of this black, kind of muddy color. Has a little bit of glitter, so I probably won't get a lot of use out of that, but I've been liking these two colors. Luscious and Bellini are beautiful. Peaches and Cream is the most perfect nude almond color to mix shadows together to go under your brow bone. It is amazing. I really like Charmed, I'm sure, as well. So, I mean, just some amazing shadows. I love the smell. My heart just like pounds when I open it because it smells so amazing. So that is a definite keep as well. And then I've got my Lorac Pro palettes. I get so torn about these. This one, the Lorac Pro 2, I just recently got. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but I'm not ever using it. Either one. There's something about them that, like, I don't know. And I can't explain it, but for some reason I never want to use them. I never feel inspired when I have them out. And I really don't know why that is. I don't think there's a, you know, a real reason why that is. It's just, I just don't ever find myself reaching for it. These are those palettes that I feel like people reference so much and I want to be able to reference for you guys, you know, if there's maybe a dupe out there or something like that. So I think I'm going to keep them and give them a little bit more of a go, especially this one because this does have more colors. I've gotten a lot more use out of this one. It's got a lot more colors to use versus this one. So I do want to give them more of a try and give them a little bit more love. I feel bad for them. Now, there's a lot here I'm gonna get rid of. Right off the bat, this Too Faced The Power of Makeup. I told you some of the Too Faced limited edition things are just not great, and this was one of them. I don't think it was like the worst thing ever. That's not what I mean. There's a lot of great shadows in here. I think Mystic Hour is really, really pretty. It kicks up a lot of powder, but I mean, seriously, that color is so beautiful. So it's not that it doesn't have good products in here. It's got the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Then that really is the Chocolate Soleil. It's got Champagne Truffle for highlight usage because that's how she uses it. They're pretty, but it's not one I can do a whole look out of. The blush pans are just a little bit too small for my taste, and I'm just not inspired looking at it. It's up some people's alley, but it's not up mine. And so I just feel like, why am I holding on to it? Why not pass it on to someone that will be so excited to have this? So that is what I will do. And that was no, shade at Nikki Tutorials. I don't know her at all. So, that's not what I mean. It just wasn't my cup of tea. If you're wanting to know more about my feelings on that, I have a whole video about that and a couple of other palettes I can link below. Another one I want to get rid of, this is, I love, from Michelle from Ready Set Glamour here on YouTube. I adore. You're probably subscribed to her already. She is amazing. Her channel is growing so fast. And she came out with this Itsy palette with like a couple of shades. I love the shadows that were in it, and I actually have them in one of my Z palettes. I know like one of these up here, maybe it was this one, is hers. I mean, the shadows that were in it were really, really pretty, but I don't really have a need for this container. The only thing is, maybe I'd want that instead of this, just because it'd be a little bit more protected. That would be my only thought, and it would have a mirror. But the Sephora one is so cute. It needs to be cleaned out, of course. Maybe I'll just hold on to both of these, because this is a really strong magnet, which is awesome. And when I travel, there have been times where I've traveled with this and the shadows like got, not broken, but like some of them kind of crumbled a little bit and got on each other. But I wonder if it was a stronger hold like this, if it would be better. I think I am gonna hold on to both of these because I just can't decide. It's kind of in that maybe zone. I'll put them in my maybe pile. This one I'm gonna get rid of. This is from City Color Cosmetics. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that it's getting lost in my collection. It's really thin packaging, which I appreciate, but it's really flimsy. And yeah, it's their Boho Chic palette. It has this gorgeous color called Wanderlust that is totally up my alley. Just this unbelievably gorgeous, shimmery, bronzy color. I mean, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. It has really pretty colors. Let me try Dreamcatcher here. I mean, come on. Maybe I will keep it. It is so pretty. Let me try Marsala here. Yeah, these colors are gorgeous. But again, this is one I feel like I can't get a complete look out of, so I never reach for. But I mean, these are beautiful. This is kind of one of those like under the radar kind of palettes that are just so pretty. It's gonna go in the maybe pile. The Stila In the Light palette is one that I've had for so long. It's getting so old. They don't even sell it anymore. I think it might be time for me to pass it on. I used to, Bubbly, my friend Laura and I talk about how this is the most beautiful gold there ever was, because it's not crazy, crazy gold like Half Baked, but it's not too white. It is just this perfect gold. Oh my gosh. It has Kitten, which is like their famous shadow. It has this beautiful color called Sunset, which I love. Beautiful, oh my gosh. See, I don't want to get rid of it, but I'm not ever using it because it's getting older. You guys can't get a hold of it. It doesn't really have a good medium brown shade. It goes straight from like kind of a really light one to a really deep one. I think I'm gonna pass it on. All right, moving along. So this is the IT Superhero palette. I love IT Cosmetics. I think some of their things aren't quite geared towards me, like they're not exactly my cup of tea, but some of them are totally my cup of tea. This one, the shadows are amazing. I showed swatches of this. I actually reviewed it in that same video I reviewed the Too Faced one. But I just feel like uninspired when I look at this. Again, they're pretty colors, but none of them are ones that I'm dying to try. So I think I'm gonna pass this on because I know someone else would totally get a lot of use out of it. It's a great palette. This is another one that was in that video, the Pure Love Your Selfie 2. I love this palette. Now, I wish it wasn't so huge and bulky. Like, I'm never gonna travel with this, But it has some lip products and stuff that I haven't even like tried. But these shadows are so beautiful. They need to come out with a palette that's just that. Maybe a couple of other shades, but like these colors are so beautiful together. Again, you could do one shadow looks with all of them, kind of blend with those. All they need is like, honestly, I used this in my crease the other day. It's supposed to be like a bronzer. And it was so beautiful. I can't speak highly enough about this palette. I just wish it were smaller so I could travel with it. I love it so much. Let me show you a couple swatches. Oh my gosh. It's actually Instagram that I posted on, and I was saying that there is a lot of fallout with some of these, like especially that green, but they're such beautiful, beautiful colors. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Let me swatch this red, this one called Sketch. I really like that color. It's such a pretty, just smooth, smooth shadows. So considering my glowing review, I'm definitely keeping this, but Pure, if you're listening, I'm gonna need a palette that is just that, plus an eyeshadow color like that, maybe a matte black. Boom, it's gonna be amazing. All right, so last two, Deck of Scarlet. I don't get this. Guys, I really don't get this. I've tried it, a little bits of it, you can tell. There's a cream blush, there's 3 shadows, there's a kind of bronzery, powdery kind of, yeah, bronzer. It's actually a nice shade for me. Actually a perfect bronzer. And then these like liquid, like lip products, which is actually a really pretty color. Now, the lip liner is actually really good. It's the Deck of Scarlet Longwear Velvet Lip Liner in Oh So Nude. So I really like that. So I'm keeping that. But the rest of it, I like that it has a separate part for the liquid formula, just because obviously you don't want to get powder all in that. That was really smart design. I like that it's got a mirror. You know, it's as sleek as it can be. But I'm just not ever using it. I mean, I haven't used it yet. I don't foresee myself even, I can't even like force myself to use it because the shadows are just not exciting to me. So I think I'm gonna pass the palette on, but I'm gonna keep the lip liner for myself. And lastly is the L'Oreal La Palette Nude 1. I used to love this so much, but I don't ever use it now. Like I really liked these 2 matte colors. I was so surprised at how nice these look. Now, are these the most amazing shadows in the world? Absolutely not. But are they, again, pretty good for the drugstore? Yeah. I think their shimmers, you know, I want a little bit more from them, but they're not horrible. That one's not great. But am I gonna get enough use out of it? I don't think so. So I think I'm gonna finally pass this little bad boy on. So looking at my maybes again, I think I'm just gonna get rid of the Ibby Beauty thing. I'm just not gonna use it enough to keep it. I'm just gonna get rid of the City Color one. I like it, but I have plenty of cool colors like that. And then out of these, I think I'm just gonna keep both. Just because I like both and I could just switch off between them. I don't have to get rid of either one, so I'm just not going to. I had to take the camera off the tripod. So this is everything that I am keeping on the left. And then right here is everything that I'm getting rid of. So I think I'm definitely keeping more than I'm getting rid of, but I do feel glad. I mean, look at all that stuff that's now not in my collection. Someone else will love. I'm still keeping a ton, but it's all products I really, really like, or they're ones that I really want to keep because I'm going to use them in videos, etc. So I feel pretty good about this. That's a lot of palettes to say goodbye to. So here's another shot of just the things that I'm keeping. I think this is it's obviously more than I will ever need, but I think it's a much more pared down amount compared to my original amount. So that is good. If you are in a decluttering mood and you want to watch more declutters, definitely check out my declutter playlist, which I will link below. I've got years worth of declutters. I've done them a couple times a year, every year since I started my channel, and I really do get rid of a lot over the years. So definitely check that out if you are in that kind of a mood. I hope that you'll subscribe to catch the future declutter videos that I will do here on my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!